Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Domas. It's kind of early today, kind of sleepy today. Yesterday was my first day at work, and looking at my face, I don't look so unhappy. I look quite chubby, to be honest, but I look quite what's that word? I forgot. Like I'm chuckling, something like that. Stood for 9 hours. That's good. I know I can stand for 9 hours. Well, with some parts where I took a break and had some lunch, and that's when I got to sit down. And yesterday's video was about standing on your own 2 feet firmly, and that's literally and metaphorically, I guess, because I don't know, my manager seems really nice. She's explaining to me a lot of things. I can't remember everything, but I'm learning things. New job is a new job, so you can't be thinking that you're gonna know everything straight away. But it's a toy store, so I did some rearranging of toys. I did some reading about toys. There's apparently a lot to read and to know about toys. And I'm in a small town. It's a small shop. But we did good yesterday. We did some sales. I always like to think of myself like I'm bringing some good energy to the place. But as the manager said, one day is like really good, and then you think the next day is going to be like that, and the next day is the opposite. So we'll see how today goes. There's a lot of people who speak Russian in our town. I don't speak Russian, unfortunately. I learned German when I was in school. But today's message. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to work. I feel like I'm finally getting my feet on the ground, You need income if you want to achieve something in this life. And seems like as soon as I start to do work, full-time work, I start to get people asking me about tattoos and other kind of work. So it's like once you start working, everything starts working. Once you're like, maybe I can stop doing this, maybe I can quit my job and just do this full time. It's like it never works out for me, it seems like. So maybe I'll just keep doing what I'm doing and keep grinding, I think there's something to be said about the grind. When you don't want to grind and you still grind. When you sacrifice things that you want to do for things that you don't want to do. But even that is when I'm at work, I don't feel so like bad, to be honest. It's just when I'm thinking about it. When I'm thinking about it, it's like when I look at things from like a perspective, I'm like, wow, I'm gonna have to spend 9 hours there. Gosh, like that's a long time. But then when I think of what that time consists of, having chats, having coffee, talking to customers, making sales, being on a till, like packing things, rearranging things, learning new things. It's not so bad. Like, I'm just imagining a lot of it. I'm just imagining a lot of bad stuff, like something that, like, I think it's the inner child that doesn't want to grow up. I think it's part of the Peter Pan syndrome, the puer eternus who wants to just live its life to the fullest extent of pleasure. And I think Jordan Peterson said to all the artists, get a job, because you'll starve to death. Only a certain amount of successful artists make it, and it seems like everyone's making it these days. But I think it's a good suggestion for me. I know people for whom that's not a good suggestion, and they would say the opposite of that. They would disagree. But I think a logical suggestion to me is get a job. You'll have stable income. You might even have more stability. And thinking about it, I came back to Lithuania to have more stability. I couldn't create at all when I was in London. I was so scattered, and now here I feel way more balanced. I feel way more I don't know, I feel like I have some weight, physically and mentally. Like, I feel like I'm being weighed down here. And I think it's important to feel like that, to not be airy-fairy all the time, flying all over the place. Because that's how I felt when I was in London. Just like trying to grow my roots everywhere. And I was just manic. That's how I would name it. When I got back here, when I started going psychotherapy, taking medication, started to, experience some sort of grounding, that not everything has to be like over the limit of extreme excitement. It doesn't have to be. It can be calm, it can be chilled, and you can push yourself in various other different ways. Like having a job, It's not easy to push yourself through 9 hours of labor, if you can call it labor. And, there's worse things they could be doing. And one thing that I realized, like, I wasn't stressed. I wasn't stressed at work yesterday. When I finished work, I still felt like I had energy. I felt like, my manager didn't just switch from being really nice before I get the job and then being total bitch when I started working. No, she wasn't like that. She wasn't like, oh, like, you're good here. It's like she was being a manager, She was like telling me what to do, but she was very calm, cool, and collected, which is what I appreciate. And for people like that, I want to work, like, I want to be as good as possible to them, because I don't know, the team that I work with, the staff, to me is really important. And I don't know, she seemed really cool. So that's it. Doesn't always have to be over the limit of complete excitement. Sometimes it can be just chill. And I'm guilty of that. I want, as an addict, I think I want things to be over the limit. I want things to be better than ever. I want, to drink a beer, and I want to feel amazing, I want that. I don't want the full spectrum of feelings. I just want exceptional feelings. And for a long time I lived like that. And I'm still living like that. And I will be always living like that for I don't know, as an addict, always looking for that peak, always looking for that, having to have like coffees throughout the whole day to feel quite stimulated, sugar. But I don't know, I think maybe it's better than having to drink alcohol and take drugs to numb those feelings that are not necessarily very nice, Now I can feel those feelings and accept them and just carry on with my day and explain them to you guys, and maybe you can relate to some of these. So if you do, let me know. If you don't, let me know as well. If you feel like I could improve in something in terms of talking, maybe there's some topics you want to hear. I can share my point of view on those. But other than that, I'm proud of you, proud of myself for keeping going, every day. There's a new day, new battle, new struggle, new joys, new excitements, new experiences. So it's the worst when every single day seems the same. And I guess that's like depression. That's like okay too, but we can try and battle those, I think that's what this life is about in a way. You understand your flaws. You understand that you're not the happiest, you're not like happy-go-lucky. You maybe were like that in the past, but you're not like that anymore, so you're just human. So I appreciate you guys. How are you? Slaps. So I'm gonna see you in the next one, and hope that you know that I'm proud of you. Hope that you know that good things are around the corner. There's always good things coming. You just need to see them and admire them for what they are. Good things. So I love you guys. Thank you for being with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy your day. Peace.